Hi and welcome to another video in this series of where we're looking at Veeam and HPE technologies together. My name is Kevin Ridings, Senior Business Solutions Architect here at Veeam. I'm joined today by Christopher Donohoe, who will be taking us through the majority of the content. Now, in this session, we're going to be looking at the key capabilities in the new Veeam Data Platform version 13 and picking out some of the really interesting points that are valuable when bringing the Veeam and HPE technologies together. So without further ado, over to you, Christopher.
Yeah, so again, my name is Chris Donohoe. I'm the solutions architect on the HPE Alliance here at Veeam, and we're just going to talk briefly through a couple of illustrations here today, just talking about the overview of Veeam Data Platform version 13. I'll just start from left to right on this illustration. I think it'd be easiest just to walk through this. The Veeam Software Appliance is something that we do have an illustration, coming up that we'll go into more detail on. But that is a pre-configured and hardened deployment, and it takes a lot of the guesswork, I would say, for even someone who's not, maybe a Linux expert about how to install this appliance onto either a VM or even a physical server. But we'll come back to that in a second. Other features are, security features like enhanced role-based access control, and that would just be you granularly controlling what your administrators have access to do. If you want to, give someone uh, maybe control over a certain part of your environment to perform, backups and restores over, a certain part of your environment. You certainly have the access, the ability to do that. The SAM single sign-on. This would be the ability to use enterprise identity providers. This would be some providers like Microsoft Entra ID or Okta or Active Directory Federation Services. I think probably a lot of people are familiar with Active Directory, but you can use some of those enterprise identity providers uh, to to enforce the same security policies across your enterprise. And if they're authenticated there, you don't have to assign authentication and go through all that work on the Veeam backup and replication server itself. You can take advantage of these existing technologies in your environment. There in the middle, I would say that these are more kind of I would say administrative helps. Like these are nice to haves. Like just kind of improves the user experience, Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
That we have highly available backup services now. That if you have one backup server that fails, you can have a backup server in another part of your environment that you can fail over to. Instant recovery to Azure is a nice feature that, again, if we do have large enterprise customers with multiple data center environments, but what about for customers who only have one data center, or maybe customers who don't want to maintain that second or third data center site anymore? The instant recovery to Azure gives them a DR, business continuity strategy that they can take advantage of now without having to maintain a second data center site. And then again, in that Veeam Software Appliance, part of that is the updated web UI. Um, that I would say probably the best part of that feature is that it has a very similar look and feel to other user interfaces that you're going to use, whether you're in Veeam Data Cloud or whether you're running the Veeam console on a Windows client. When you go onto the web UI, you're going to get a very similar look and feel as other Veeam products that you are accustomed to using to using. And then the last feature, I'll kind of summarize all of that last part all together with the AI empowered intelligence that um, this is just the ability of the user to go, or the administrator to go to an AI prompt and have more of a conversation with the software. I mean, everyone is familiar with using ChatGPT today or Gemini, and you're able to ask, questions, or, hey, give me these reports. You can interact with the software in more of a natural language and just ask it to do things like, I'm concerned about this workload. It seems to have a lot of malware reports on it. Can you tell me a little more about this? What this server and what it's experiencing, and the Veeam software will go out and run all of these reports for you, and help you dig into problems. So, without going into a great deal of detail, that's kind of a high-level overview of what the AI-empowered intelligence does in V13. I think the next thing we wanted to talk about was maybe to dig in a little more about that Veeam software appliance, Kevin.
Thanks for that, Christopher. So I've been building a lab recently, and just at one point on the previous on the previous visual, you mentioned the instant recovery to Azure, and that really is quite a game changing feature. Obviously, we've had direct restore to Azure for some time, but moving that to an instant recovery to Azure is as I said, really game changing. And in fact, just a little plug, if you look out for another video in a different series that'll be coming out pretty soon, I'll be going in a deep dive of how the the instant recovery to Azure works. Now, the experience I've gained over building the lab recently, I've been a Windows guy for more years than I'd like to admit, really. So I've always had a certain nervousness when coming to Linux appliances. But what we've done with the web UI and the ease of use, that's super easy to deploy, which Chris will be talking about in a few moments. Even me, the Windows guy, I had to make some changes to the equivalent of a registry key for the Veeam software on the appliance in my lab that I built. And it's so easy in the web UI. You go to the particular management section, you download the file that you need to edit, you edit the file, you then upload the file straight within the web UI. You then have to log in as a security officer and agree to that. But that's all done. No command line editing, to the Windows guy, no scary CLI editing and not quite sure what you're doing. Me, the Windows guy, still very happy. No drawbacks, and it works well seamlessly, even to the Windows guy. Christopher, do you want to take us in a little bit more detail about the new software appliance?
Yeah, well, Kevin, to add to that, I always try to be the worst kind of user when I test out our new products, and so I don't read our user guides at all. When we come out with a new product and I get a beta, I don't want to read any user guides. I want to see how intuitive it is. So I would agree that now I do have a Linux background, but I can tell you I didn't have to employ any of that expertise to install the Veeam software appliance because, yeah, just to go into some detail about how this thing installs, you get an ISO, and you can boot a VM from that ISO or boot a physical server from that ISO, and it you answer some questions. Most of those are networking questions. Some of that, you go through this wizard and create new users as well, but very basic questions on the front end, and after that, the thing just installs itself, and as it installs the operating system, the software. It's doing all the hardening for you. So when we say simple to deploy and secure from day one, that's true, and that security is ongoing because Veeam is maintaining the operating system patches and the software patches at the same time. So you get one place to call if you start experiencing some type of issue for some reason, you have questions about how this is working. You call into Veeam support because we are managing it, so we support all of it as well.
So yeah, completely game changing. Along with some of the other features, the new Veeam software appliance, easy to deploy, and as Chris said, secure from day one, and easy to use even from a Windows guy point of view. So
You do get that new web UI. Yeah, that is nice.
yeah, the web UI is really, I think, the valuable piece to the Windows guy. I'll probably not keep saying that too much, but yeah, that is the key, I think, to making it super easy. So, quick episode around some of the key highlights in V13, focusing in on the appliance. Hopefully, you've found this particular video in the series useful. So, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'd also like to thank Christopher for joining me here today.
Yeah, thank you.